Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One United podcast. And we are into the finals. जी हाँ भाई और बहनों हम finals में आ चुके हैं. We're going to Athletic Bilbao Stadium once again. Okay, and we have beaten them in both the legs काफी comfortably अगर हम बात करें. And क्या ही मैच था यार. आज अभी फिलहाल हमारे पास कोई है नहीं है. Everyone's committed to their work and personal life at this moment of time, but we will have people coming across soon. और भी वीडियोस में लेकिन अभी फिलहाल यहाँ पे मैं एक छोटे से फैन रिएक्शन देना चाहता हूँ जस्ट वांट टू गिव अ स्मॉल फैन रिएक्शन एज टू लाइक व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वर द फीलिंग्स दैट वी मस्ट हैव गॉन थ्रू एंड व्हाट डिड वी एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू द मैच वी विल बी फेसिंग टॉटनहम हॉटस्पर in the final and it's a nightmare situation if you talk about Arsenal fans because one of their biggest rivals are about to basically lift a trophy and they just went trophyless in this season. And if we talk about the next game, they have to give Liverpool a guard of honor to make matters worse. So, yeah, it's a lose-lose situation for Arsenal, unfortunately. But if you're talking about United in particular, yeah, what a match. The first 60 to 65 minutes, you'll have to give credit to Athletic Bilbao. They played really well. Let's not forget that Inaki Williams and Nico Williams were not playing. They were injured. They were out injured. And they also had a suspension. The other player who had got suspended, I'm not able to recall his name, but he got suspended as well. So काफी मुश्किलात थी उनकी तरफ से पहले से, but despite that they showed a lot of heart, especially in the first 60 minutes, should I say. They scored a banger of a goal at the 30th region mark. I think Onana could have done better. Still have my complaints with him. I still feel that दोनों हाथों के साथ dive कर रहे थे. वो usually keepers, you see them diving across with one hand, and they eventually are able to reach out to that ball, but that wasn't done by Onana at all. Just to be considered a goal, and it was quite nervy at the beginning. But you have to praise United after especially you have to praise Ruben Amorim just तरीके से he changed the game with those substitutions, because if you look at the second half में जो आपके first 15 minutes थे, I think Athletic Bilbao were all over us. Thankfully, they did not score a goal. We did not concede a goal, thankfully, but they were all over us. And if you know what would have happened if they would have scored or nicked one goal, it would have been panic stations. So they did the right thing by bringing in the substitutions. He did the right thing by bringing in Ahmad, and then you had your Mason Mount, your Ahmad Diallo, and Mason Mount. Then we also had Kobe Mino stepping in later on. So that was a bold move. That was a right move. It should have been done, and it was done. And you saw it immediately from the first minute itself. As soon as Ahmad got the ball, that was his first touch. He spun the defender, and he nearly provided an assist to Bruno Fernandes. So other than that, अगर हम बात करें Mason Mount, yes, people have been criticizing him a lot this season, as well as the previous season. He's been out injured. He hasn't played for United for quite some time. But कल, and even in the last game, he scored the first goal. कल भी इसने दिखाया कि if basically he gets the minutes in and he is a fully functioning footballer, then he can in fact turn out to be quite pivotal in Manchester United's tenure. In Manchester United's tenure in the Europa League. So, अब देखते हैं, he got a brace yesterday, and especially the second goal. He might be wearing the number 7 behind his back, but number 7 just reminded me of David Beckham's goal against Wimbledon back in the day. So it was an amazing goal. And let's start by praising a few players at the beginning for United. You have to give credit to Lenny Euro. I think he's my player of the match. Lenny Euro, he has now grown into the game. He has grown into Manchester United's team, and he's got that position locked in. The RCB position, the right centre back position, he's got it locked in. We might be missing. Some people might be missing Lisandro Martinez, but at this moment of time, if you take a look at the majority, then I do not think that Lisandro Martinez is being missed as much. In fact, people might have even forgot him, unfortunately. He is a good player. But Lenny Euro, he's turning out to be different gravy right now for United. The way that he was popping up from his own half into the final third, with those dribbles, with those fake shots, with those passes, breaking the lines. And then the way that he passed it to Mason Mount, in which he got that goal. He was pivotal when it came to building the pressure onto Athletic Bilbao. He was the extra man who was in that final third region. And even if we talk about his blocks, his recovery pace, I think at the age of 18, you need to build a team around players such as Lenny Euro, Amad Diallo. These are the players who will promise you more titles in the days to come. So, a fantastic performance by Lenny Euro, fantastic passing range, recovery pace, physicality. You talk about it all. He's just 18 years of age. You can understand now why Real Madrid were behind him with the display that he's shown for Manchester United, particularly in the Europa League. There are more positive signs to come. I'm quite sure of it. And the good thing is that even in his interview yesterday, he said that he's blessed to play for Manchester United. So I'm happy that he feels grateful. I hope we keep him for a very long time, for at least 6 to 7 seasons. He would still be 24, 25. He would still be in his prime. He would, yeah, Lenny Euro पे नजर रखनी चाहिए. And apart from that, if you talk about Mason Mount, and once again, I've praised him. People have criticized him in the past, and it's been a bit hot and cold, especially with his injuries. But when he's up there, when he's basically fit, you've seen him for Chelsea. He's got some crucial goals, some crucial assists, and he's also a workhorse. That's his most prized asset. He's a workhorse. तो अगर मतलब आप देखो कि किस तरीके से Ruben Amorim, why he basically praises him a lot is because he knows that he's going to get that energy off of him. Now, Athletic Bilbao, they were running us off the park in the second half. He brought in Amad Diallo and Mason Mount, the two people with a lot of energy in that pitch. And with those interceptions, with those blocks, with those tackles, they can actually turn out to be quite crucial, and that is exactly what turned out to be the case. So Mason Mount's ability, you talk about his tracking, his energy, and off the ball movement, etc., etc. That is something which is one of his top qualities. So I'm very happy for him for those 2 goals. That's going to give him a lot of confidence. He already scored in the previous game as well in the Premier League against Brentford. And I hope that confidence takes him further forward and he turns out to be a crucial player for us in the finals as well. And Amad Diallo, what should I say about him? The reason why I'm so confident that we should be able to win this Europa League trophy is Amad Diallo is now fit again. And Alejandro Garnacho, see, the thing is, I might have complaints when it comes to Alejandro Garnacho, and they might be valid enough as well for some people. If you look at the first half, he had 2 genuine chances, one-on-one chances, one in which he wasn't basically able to get a shot at all on target, and the second when he had a clear indication that he should just strike the ball on his first go. He did not do that. He tried being cheeky. He tried chipping the ball over the keeper, and it was way off target. These are the pressure situations where you have to bag your goals because. And the funny thing is that I didn't even flinch when he missed that. I was quite confident that 9 times out of 10 he's going to miss that target. He might score bangers every now and then. Even in the last game in Brentford, you saw the curler that he scored. But when he's one-on-one in front of the keeper, more often than not, you could say that it's a 50-50 chance, and the goalkeeper might end up saving it, or the ball might go off target, and that is exactly what happened yesterday again. And even if you remember the last Europa League fixture against Lyon, he was one-on-one with the keeper. He beat his defender, did every hard bit, completed the hard bit, and he just had to finish off his food. But what he did was, he just hit the ball straight into the keeper's palms. He parried it, and we all know what happened. Lyon scored 2 goals, then they scored 2 more, then we had to make that sensational comeback. But if it was 3-0 back then I think the game would have been completely killed off. So yes, he needs to improve on his finishing. Off the ball, you could say that when you need to counter attack, then Alejandro Garnacho is like one of your crucial players. But if you are basically making those runs from behind, then you need to also work on your finishing. That is something which I hope that he improves. Because when Amad Diallo came in, the levels and the difference between the two is night and day. That's what I feel. Amad Diallo is on a completely different level. The way that he beat his defenders and the way that he carries himself, the confidence, you could say his aura, you could say his ball carrying ability, you could talk about his pace, you could talk about his off the ball energy. Even when the ball is with the defender, he's smart enough to know where to intercept, how to tackle the defender in order to create the pressure. And how many times have we seen him score a goal or create a goal in that manner? So Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, yes, definitely he is our most important player. But if there's anyone else who I would bank on, especially to start as one of the front 3 against against Tottenham in the finals, it would definitely be Amad Diallo. So I have this request with Ruben Amorim. Like, if you are starting Garnacho, well and good, but make sure that Amad Diallo is also on the other wing. He needs to be there, because if he's there, Tottenham Hotspur will be under immense pressure. And Casemiro, another person that I need to praise. Europa or Champions League, Casemiro, you just give him a European competition, and this guy will end up delivering. The more you talk about him, the less the more you talk about him, the less it, what should I say? I'm lost of words. The more you talk about him, it's just like how does he keep continuing? How does he keep doing it over and over again? It's just you know bewildering, because quite a few weeks ago, if you remember, quite a few months ago, as a matter of fact, especially in the game against Liverpool, after the game against Liverpool when we got mauled 3-0 at Old Trafford, Jamie Carragher said this quote. We even discussed it with Anshuman, that leave the football before the football leaves you, and there were some poor performances from Casemiro over and over and over again. But the way that he's now transformed his season during the fag end of it, especially when we talk about Ruben Amorim managing his minutes, and managing his expectations, asking him to do what he needs to do, he's turned out to be the same Casemiro that we had in the first season under Erik ten Hag, and the same Casemiro that we saw in Real Madrid. And the way that he basically pops up in these crucial situations, not just offensively. Yes, he scores big goals with his head, but apart from that, even defensively, when there are corners, you can bank on two players, Harry Maguire or Casemiro, to actually clear the ball from the danger area. He's always there. Apart from that, he's made some crucial interceptions, some crucial tackles for Manchester United under pressure situations. And like I said, when we are in need of a goal, you can expect Casemiro to pop in at any moment of time. So, and the way that when he was subbed off, the way that he basically passionately, embraced Ruben Amorim, that was a sight to see. And I'm quite excited. And another reason why I'm also confident against Tottenham Hotspur is because, Casemiro, we all know the legend that he is, the accolades that he won in Real Madrid, the Champions League. And even if you talk about his United career, 2 trophies back-to-back in 2 back-to-back seasons, he's on the verge of third one. So I honestly do not feel a winner like Casemiro is going to lose to Tottenham Hotspur, a team that has never won, that hasn't won a trophy for the past 2 decades. I don't think that's going to happen at all. So I'm quite confident in Casemiro. I'm quite confident in Manchester United. And, Ruben Amorim has been criticized a lot for his tenure over here, but at the same time, you have to give his credits, especially for his performance in the Europa League, for keeping that belief in the team. And I think this could be season defining. This should be career defining for him as well. This should give the confidence in the board, as well as in Ruben Amorim's abilities himself. And he can bank on himself in the season ahead. You will have to say that if United win this Europa League, then the money that will be coming in, the players that might be coming in, and the expectations to be in the Champions League and to be in the Premier League significantly rises. So I honestly feel that our performance levels will also increase. And the reason why we are doing so well in the Europa League at this moment of time, which is something that I feel, is that our physicality levels in the Premier League at this stage is significantly higher than when you talk about any other league. If we improve on our physicality levels, if we improve on our endurance levels of physicality, not getting brushed aside quite easily. Because even if you look at the last Premier League against Brentford, you might say that we lost 4-3, we put in a fight, but we were being bodied by them off the ball and even on the ball. So once we get that Champions League, let's say we win the Europa League, we need to get in players, who are going to run the distance, who are going to be physically out there, who will have a presence, the 50-50s need to be won. The second balls need to be won. So if once we get that, then I have this feeling that even in the Premier League, we might be able to do well. You look at Arsenal's example. Yes, we might mock them. We might make fun of them that this season has been a travesty for them. But if you look at the defense, you look at Saliba, you look at Gabriel, you look at their midfield, Declan Rice, you look at Thomas Partey. These are all physical players. If they had a proper centre forward, such as, let's say, a Victor Gyökeres, then maybe they would have even won the league or even gone ahead in the finals of the Champions League. So it's that missing piece of the puzzle for them. Whereas for us, there are a lot of puzzles that need to be solved. But that one common solution to it is that you need players to be more physical in order to perform in the Premier League. Right now, you're a team that performs in cup competitions, be it the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Europa League. But we need to perform well in the in the Premier League, because that is our bread and butter. All right, we are Manchester United at the end of the day. So I hope that changes. I hope we get into players, the personnel, and I think that Ruben Amorim does recognize that. But that's me, and I'm buzzing. United are unbeaten, are invincible this season in the Europa League, and on the other hand, they are 15th or 16th, I think, in the Premier League. And as for Tottenham, they too are in a similar position in the Premier League. We were battling, you could say, relegation at one point, but all of a sudden we see ourselves in the final. Tottenham now, they have won 3 games against us this season, and they will be looking to beat us for the 4th time. But I honestly do not feel that it's going to be the case, because first and foremost, it's a European final. Tottenham Hotspur will feel the heat. And Postecoglou, he might have said that I usually win trophies in my second season, but I'm sure he will be feeling the pressure. Manchester United too will be feeling the pressure. But if we talk about the current players' recent experiences in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, I think they will now finally have that feeling as to how it actually feels to be in a final and how it feels to actually win one. Because let's be honest, in the Carabao Cup final, they beat a very good Newcastle side, and in the FA Cup final, they beat Manchester City. We all know, and we all know about Manchester City. And similarly, I think Tottenham Hotspur, they will be wary that they've been beaten thrice. I'm sure things are going to improve, and I'm sure even though Tottenham might have that psychological edge, we haven't beaten them since 2022, but that one game is just those 90 minutes. At the end of the day, those 90 minutes is what matters, and I think United might be able to pull off something very special at St. Mames. So I'm positive. We have some fine players in our ranks. We have Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Mason Mount looks in form. Harry Maguire is doing quite well. Lenny Euro is doing quite well. And who else is there? You talk about, yeah, Garnacho might be having his issues, but he can be dangerous, especially with those runs. So we do have the players. I think we can do something, and I'm actually looking forward to it. So yeah, just a few more days, 13 more days remaining for the final, and let's just hope that Manchester United, finish off the job and we bring the trophy over here, and hopefully we get to see and witness and hear the Champions League anthem next season. So guys, thank you. ये था मेरा फैन रिएक्शन. उसके बाद अब हम और भी वीडियोस रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. There'll be more people coming in. Paritosh, Dinete, Ekus, and Anshuman. I'm sure we'll be back with some more content. Until then, do take very good care of yourselves. GGMU, glory, Man United, and let's go for the finals. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.